to Portland for Sebastian Telfair, Theo Ratliff, and a 2008 second-round pick. Now, the reason they did this deal, Dan, is that they felt that Sebastian Telfair, 2 years out of high school, was a better point guard for their system right now than what would be available to them. That would mean Randy Foye of Villanova possibly, and certainly Marcus Williams of Connecticut and Rajon Rondo of Kentucky. So Danny Ainge looked at his possibilities, really studied the tape in the first 8 games of Sebastian Telfair's second season before he got hurt and was replaced by Steve Blake and Jarrett Jack, and liked Telfair for this team. One other thing, Dan, the Allen Iverson trade with Boston, possibly involving another team like Utah or Cleveland, will be rekindled on July 1st. Right now it's tabled. It's not going to happen tonight, but there have been serious talks between Boston and Philadelphia, and this trade with Telfair has nothing to do with the Iverson deal. Dan?
Portland Trailblazers, very, very busy. Jay, let me start with you. If you're Portland and you gave up Sebastian Telfair, who's your point guard?
Well, I mean, they've got Steve Blake and Jarrett Jack. That's not, giving up Telfair, I don't think they particularly liked him all that much. And giving him up, he gets him to another place where he can maybe perform a little bit better. Frankly, I don't think that Telfair is a better point guard than Marcus Williams, who would have been available for Boston if they were picking at 7. But, you can flip a coin on those two things. Telfair's ready to play right now. He's been in the league for a while. I don't think it's a bad move at all by Boston. Actually, I think it could work out just fine. It gives him a new place to play and a new outlook where he could be better than he was.
I think Sebastian Telfair is a much better player than he's been given an opportunity to show in Portland, simply because as a point guard, you need talent around you. And the Portland Trailblazers did not possess that on that roster as presently stated. Also, when you look at it from Boston's standpoint, Sebastian Telfair now gets to go and play with a proven, legitimate #1 scoring option in Paul Pierce. Plus, they have some other young players that can finish around the basket. I think it's going to be very good for him. However, I agree with you. I think Marcus Williams every bit the player and would service you well. He may not be available at 7. That's the possibility that you have to look at if you're Boston.
I think you need to put in perspective is the fact that the Portland Trailblazers never really wanted Sebastian Telfair. John Nash wanted Sebastian Telfair. Mo Cheeks and his coaching staff at the time didn't want him, and John Nash had to convince the higher-ups in the Portland Trailblazers organization to take Sebastian Telfair. With all of that said, here's the only really thing that I really don't like about this deal for Portland. You let go of Theo Ratliff. In exchange, you take Raef LaFrentz. This is a guy that's got 3 years left on his contract. Theo only had 2. And I understand that some that doesn't mean anything unless you're going into that 3rd year. At the same time, though, they couldn't give Raef LaFrentz away to most teams, but they found Portland to give him away to. So in that regard, I don't like that.
But if you look at what Portland's doing with 3 first-round draft picks, are they going for a point guard here? And are they going to end up with LaMarcus Aldridge to shore up that front line?
Bottom line is this: if you're Portland, doesn't matter where you're going. If you're looking at the draft, you're not going to be a better basketball team. This draft, while very good and very talented, it's not going to change the direction of your franchise. They got to get veteran players in there who are leaders. They need winners on that roster. As I said before, they're like the New York Knicks of the Western Conference right now.
And you question if they have a legitimate starter on that team.
I don't think they do at this point.
They certainly didn't acquire a leader in LaFrentz.
We got about 20 potential first-rounders on hand with us. Adam Morrison, we know he'll go in the top 5. We'll hear from Adam Morrison. We'll also hear from J.J. Redick. Some health concerns. Anybody scared away? The all-time leading scorer in ACC history. How about Rudy Gay, one of possibly 6 Connecticut players selected tonight?
What? Do you see how close we are right now?
I'm here to audition for the... Oh, my God.
Exclusive presentation of the 2006 NBA Draft, presented by Sprite with Lyman, proud sponsor of the NBA, Obey, and in part by Mike's Hard Lemonade Premium Malt Beverage, cold, hard, refreshing.
J.J. Redick on hand, the all-time leading scorer in ACC history. He's hearing it from the New Yorkers. Maybe that's a tribute to him. As great as his career was at Duke, and you look at the resume, you can't argue. One of the great shooters in NCAA history, and certainly can go NBA three-point range. Also on that resume, the DUI a couple of weeks ago. There's also concerns about his back. Will that scare off any teams? Mark Jones standing by with J.J. Redick. Mark?
JJ, been a rough little while for you. Some of the team doctors have expressed concerns over your back. What is the state of your back?
Well, I've taken a few weeks off. I've been pain-free now for 2 weeks. I'm going to start working out next week. There's no indication that I'll need any type of surgery, and I should be able to do summer league and play USA basketball this summer.
How have you dealt with the legal issue of the DUI?
Well, I've hired a lawyer, and legally there's not a whole lot I can do right now. I'm just letting my lawyer handle that.
During the course of the regular season, you and one of your best friends in college basketball, Adam Morrison, played a lot of online video games, Halo. Who's better, honestly, now?
Adam's a lot better at Halo, I'll be honest. He's a higher level and everything. He plays religiously. I just try to get on every now and again.
All right, JJ, good luck tonight.
All right, thanks a lot.
Stu, over to you.
All right, well, Adam beat JJ for the NCAA scoring title. JJ also says you're a better Halo 2 player there. I guess there's no trash talking when it comes to Halo 2. Adam Morrison, you've lived your life with diabetes. You had to give yourself insulin shots during games. What has that taught you in dealing with that as you've grown up and as you've played?
Just be disciplined, and I think that carries over on and off the court, and just make sure I'm doing the right things every time, and stay disciplined, like I said earlier.
When you compete, you have been called arrogant. You've been called controlling, intense. What are some of the others?
Probably hard-nosed. You pretty much hit it on the head. I just like to play hard, and I put a lot of work into what I've done, so I'm going to hopefully continue it.
All right, good luck tonight. By the way, this suit, he has an endorsement, Jonesy, with Topps Trading Cards. This suit will be carved up, cut up, and put into Topps Trading Cards for Adam Morrison. It's a one-and-done deal, Mark.
Hey, Stu, speaking of suits, I think Rudy Gay right here might have won the green room tonight with his accessorizing. Rudy Gay out of UConn. And Rudy, there could be as many as 6 of yourselves, 5 of your teammates and yourself being selected in the first 2 rounds. What have you guys said to each other about this night being special?
We try and make history, basically. Everybody here, I think, is deserving. And, we're just trying to come out here and have fun and play for some good teams and play good basketball.
With that many players, that much depth at UConn, sometimes there's a chance that skills can get overlooked. What is it about Rudy Gay that teams might not know?
That I'm more of a balanced player than a lot of people may have thought. We have a lot of great players on our team, and sometimes that kind of hinders what you can do on the court.
How does UConn prepare you guys for the NBA, for the next level? There's a lot of you in the league.
The coaching, the style of sets we run, everything. Basically, coach is a good. He's a good. That's what he does. He makes people pros.
All right, talking about Jim Calhoun, the Hall of Famer. Rudy, thanks for joining us. Guys, he wrote in his middle school yearbook that he wanted to be in the NBA. He's merely hours away right now. Back to you.
All right, Jonesy, thank you. That's Hilton Armstrong, Rudy Gay's teammate. Could be one of 4 Connecticut players taken in the first round.
Can you see the real me? Jobless.
Is he a point guard? Is he a 2 guard? Is he a hybrid? Even been compared to Dwayne Wade. Lofty praise, Jay.
Well, Randy Foye, I think, could be Rookie of the Year next year. He is that good. He's a powerful guard that can take over. He can get his own shot, hit challenge shots. He gets to the free throw line. In workouts, he's been incredibly impressive. Rodney Carney, another guy that could go high in this draft, in the lottery. An unbelievable athlete, especially when he's running the floor. Just a sprinter, a world-class athlete that can shoot it from deep. He can also get to the rim in transition. And the best pure passer in this draft, Marcus Williams, left-handed, averaged about 9 assists per game last season. He just knows how to play and how to get you baskets.
Some of the risers, and when you rise up to 7 feet, you'll look into the eyes of Andrea Bargnani. Will he be the number 1 pick? His future could be decided in a couple of minutes. We'll be inside the Toronto draft room. We'll check in on them. They're on the clock. The NBA draft on ESPN is next. All the headshots are in. The screen tests are done. The lights hot. The camera's set. And the NBA draft class of 2006 is ready for action.
Me? I'm auditioning for the part of Mr. Clutch. I'm
auditioning for the part of Superman. I'm auditioning for the part of Kryptonite.
Get out of town.
So what do you think?
Look at this.
Spazio per Andrea Bargnani e senza paura.
With a bomb at the buzzer.
So how did I do?
That'll bring a smile. Look at the hustle. What a play.
So do I get the part? Do I get the part? Come on, man. I was made for this part.
You see the real me.
They are ready for their close-ups. Andrea Bargnani, the 7-foot player from Italy. Will he be the #1 overall pick? Can you compare him to Dirk Nowitzki? Where is Adam Morrison, the nation's leading scorer, going to? Will he go to Charlotte? Talk of Charlotte for him, or perhaps Rudy Gay? We get the festivities rolling with the commissioner, David Stern.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the NBA Draft at the Theater at Madison Square Garden in New York City, home to the Knicks, the WNBA's Liberty, and the WNBA All-Star Game on July 12th. To our fans watching on ESPN and in over 200 countries, to those logging on to NBA.com, and especially to all of you who are gathered here tonight, thank you for coming. This is a very rowdy crowd. The first pick in the 2006 NBA Draft will be made by the Toronto Raptors, who have 5 minutes to make their selection.
So the Raptors, after winning the lottery, zero in on Andrea Bargnani. We'll break down his skills. Will he be an impact player? And you can look at his face, the wide-eyed wonderment of what exactly have I gotten myself into, because here's a guy who, in a place like Italy, where they're talking about the World Cup, he could turn out to be the #1 player selected. We are in the draft room of the Toronto Raptors. Brian Colangelo will make the call in regards to the Toronto Raptors with the #1 overall pick. There was talk that maybe it was LaMarcus Aldridge, but they have shied away from him, from what we've been told. And you look at the resume. He built a powerhouse in Phoenix with the up-tempo style. He's now in Toronto, and the 9 playoff appearances in 11 years for Brian Colangelo, trying to take that magic, perhaps that tempo, to the Toronto Raptors, and he can get a stepping stone tonight with Andrea Bargnani. Let's talk about the impact, guys, with Jay Billis, Stephen A. Smith, Greg Anthony. Is he an impact player now?
Is he an impact player now, Andrea Bargnani? No, he's not. It's going to take him a little bit of time, but he's a solid prospect that can be a solid player. And it's not just all about this pick. I mean, this pick allows Toronto some flexibility, and maybe they can make a move with some of the players they've already got in their roster. Maybe a guy like Charlie Villanueva. Who knows? Maybe he could be on the block because he's got a lot of value out there. But this gives them some flexibility and a guy that can really step away and shoot it that could get better and better. But I don't think he's Dirk Nowitzki now. I don't think that's fair.
Well, I mean, when I look at it, I'm thinking about a guy that everybody's talking about his offense. He's 7'1". He can shoot from the perimeter. I don't hear anybody talking about his defense. This Toronto Raptors squad is a team that surrendered 104 points per game. That's the bottom line. They were a horrific defensive team. He's not going to help in that department. But if he can put up some points and be a formidable option, okay, if he can be formidable on the offensive side of the ball, then sometimes when you don't have a good defense, the best kind of defense is a decent offense. And I guess that's what the Toronto Raptors are thinking about right
and
now.
That was the point I was going to make about Brian Colangelo. Must we forget this is a guy that came from the Phoenix Suns, where defense was somewhat of an allergy. They're going to try to outscore people, and this kid does give them an opportunity to create matchups. Remember, in the league now, with the way they're emphasizing the rules, it's about taking advantage of the versatility that your roster possesses. He's got that with Chris Bosh. Andrea Bargnani, I think, in a lot of ways, could give them that as well on the perimeter. A 7-footer who has great perimeter skills. Again, questionable defense and rebounding, but those are areas that they're going to have to address. This team has a lot of holes to begin with. There's a reason they got the #1 pick, so this is just the first step.
Let's go to Fran Fraschilla. He's spent the last couple of years scouting the international players, and as recently as 2 weeks ago was with Andrea Bargnani. Is he an impact player right now, Fran?
He will help Toronto. He will be, if not a starter, he'll help them early in the first year. His impact will be felt in years 2, 3, and 4, Dan. The thing you got to remember about him at only 20 years old, He's played almost 150 professional games already against a pretty good level of competition, and he became a go-to player for Benetton at the end of the season in a very hostile situation. His team won the Italian League. I like him as much as any big kid in this draft.
We'll be checking in with Fran throughout the night for his take on the international players. Bargnani's nickname, by the way, the Magician. You don't find that with too many 7-footers. Let's go to the commissioner as he brings you the number 1 pick of the 2006 NBA draft here at the theater in Madison Square Garden.
With the first pick in the 2006 NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors select Andrea Bargnani from Italy.
What's big news in Italy? Not as big as Italy playing the Ukraine in the World Cup, but you're looking at the first European player ever selected number 1 overall, the second international player. Yao Ming was the first back in 2002. And Andre Bargnani, not a center, plays on the perimeter, great shooter. The photo opportunity with the commissioner. Let's go to the Toronto draft room. That's the reaction. Moments ago, as they zeroed in on the 7-footer, he's only 20 years of age, as Fran Fraschilla said, and he will develop. As Fran said, don't be quick to point out that he's not an athletic player. He is very athletic, more athletic than you think. You're going to hear the comparisons, though. Jay, when you look at him, is it more Dirk Nowitzki? Is it more Darko Milicic? Nicholas Skidishvili?
Well, there's a middle ground there now. You don't have to go 10-0. Give me a break here. I don't think he's a Dirk Nowitzki type player. He's 7 feet tall. He's got a really quick trigger on his shot and really deep range, Dan. And that shot quickness that he has is what sets up his ability to drive it. He's not a great athlete. He's a good athlete that's got a very good feel for the game, and he's got a very good aptitude for the game. But he does not rebound. He does not post up, and he is not much of a defender right now. He's not physical. He needs to get his body improved. He needs to get a lot stronger. He will get that over time. But remember, he's 20 years old. Dirk Nowitzki was 18 when he came into the NBA, and that guy got to the free throw line. Bargnani does not right now get to the free throw line. He's got to improve his game overall.
But, Steven, is this the smart pick for Toronto?
I think it's the smart pick, number 1, because you got Ratko Nesterovic in there. You need some help. But I'm going to say this. I hope there's some fitness center, some weight room somewhere, because looking at him and imagining him with Chris Bosh and Charlie Villanueva, nobody on there looks like they've been in the weight room muscle-wise. So I sincerely hope that they're bench pressing. They're going to eat some meat, potatoes, and all of that stuff, because they're going to need some beef on that front line.
Look at this philosophically and compare it to the Phoenix Suns, another team that doesn't have a lot of bulk, but they have a high degree of skill level in terms of their interior players. When you look at Sean Marion and Amari Stoudemire, their hope is that Andrea Bargnani is going to bring some of those similar attributes to this basketball team. I kind of look at him almost like a high school player. Even though he's played professionally for about 2 years, he's still going to be raw, and this is going to be his first taste at this level playing in real games, not just exhibition games. But I do like his talent, and I do believe Brian Colangelo has proven to be a guy that knows what he's doing when it comes to evaluating talent. So let's expect that this guy is going to have a significant impact this season.
The first European-born player to be taken number 1 overall, and he's standing by with our Stuart Scott. Stuart?
Thanks a lot, Dan. Molto bene.
Molto bene, sì.
All right, and we're going to do the rest of this in English, all right?
Okay.
A lot of great reasons to be the number 1 overall pick, Andrea. What is the best thing about being the top pick in the NBA draft?
This is unbelievable. I feel like if I'm dreaming. Of course, it's an enormous pleasure to be here in New York and become an NBA player. That is the best league in the world. And I'm so proud also to represent my country, and I have no words.
Other than New York fans booing for whatever reasons they boo, what's the worst thing?
I'm from Europe.
What's the worst thing about being a number 1 pick and having that kind of pressure?
Yeah, of course it's a lot of pressure, but now I think just that I'm very happy to be in this league. I know that I will have a lot of tough moments because, of course, it's a new league. So I have to practice and to work hard to become a good player.
Well, congratulations. He's going to Toronto, Dan. A couple of years ago, his Italian team actually played the Raptors in an exhibition game. 22 minutes, 13 points, 5 rebounds at 18 years old. Dan?
All right, Stuart, the last number 1 overall pick to lead all rookies in scoring. You got to go back to 2000. That was Elton Brand with the Chicago Bulls, who are on the clock right now. What are they going to do with that number 2 pick? They got that pick thanks to the New York Knicks, which we'll get into coming up in a moment. The crowd here loves that. The Knicks with 2 first-round picks later on, but the Bulls are on the clock right now as you see the paperwork on this deal and the possibility of switching first-round picks next year with the Knicks. But what are the Chicago Bulls going to be doing with this number 2 pick? Are they keeping it? Are they trading it? A little bit of intrigue. We bring in Andy Katz, our NBA insider. What do you have for me?
Well, Dan, Portland has been very busy. Earlier we reported that they made the trade with the Celtics for Sebastian Telfair going to Boston, getting that number 7 pick. Well, they are now also trading the number 4. Chicago will send this number 2 pick, and they're going to pick LaMarcus Aldridge, according to multiple sources. They'll send that to Portland, and in return they'll get the number 4 pick, and the Blazers are expected to pick Tyrese Thomas for Chicago. They will also send over Victor Kriapa and future considerations. So the Bulls and the Blazers doing a deal after the Blazers had already done a deal to get 2 picks in the lottery with the Celtics.
All right, Andy, we'll let our insiders give their thoughts on that coming up. Let's go to the commissioner. The Chicago Bulls are on the clock. What are they doing? Is the deal going down? Here's David Stern.
With the 2nd pick in the 2006 NBA draft, the Chicago Bulls select LaMarcus Aldridge from the University of Texas.
Highest Texas player ever selected and going to be traded to the Portland Trail Blazers. At least that's what Andy Katz is reporting. Defensive Player of the Year, Big 12 Conference last year. 3rd Texas player chosen in the 1st round, Chris Mihm and TJ Ford, part of the alumni there. What do you think?
Well, I know he's going to go to the Blazers because I think Chicago likes Thomas and values Tyrese Thomas more than they do LaMarcus Aldridge. But I think LaMarcus Aldridge is a good prospect. 6'11", he's got great feet. He can really change ends. He runs the floor extremely well and moves those feet extremely well. He is more of a finesse big guy, and the way he runs the floor really can be stunning. He has got the ability to get to the rim. He gets up high. He's got long arms, and he's got a soft shooting touch. He's got a very nice turnaround jumper. He's been working on a hook shot, but again, he's not one of those tough players down low. He's got to work on his strength. He's what you would call high cut. He gets pushed off the low block. He's not strong. He's got to keep that. But with his length and athleticism, he can block shots and chain shots. That's a real strength of his. He led the league in shot blocks, but that weak low base, he gets bumped off a lot. He's more of a finesse player. And when they played LSU in the NCAA tournament, he spent most of that game in the 2nd row. But he is a good prospect. I liken him a little bit to Chris Bosh. And remember, we had those same questions about Bosh. How tough was he? Did he want to play inside? And Bosh answered those questions in the affirmative. And LaMarcus Aldridge, he's going to have to get a lot stronger, but he might be able to do the same thing as Bosh.
But what role does Scott Skiles in what he expects out of a player factors in not taking LaMarcus Aldridge if they're going to be trading this pick to Portland?
Well, I guess what you look at the fact that he's looking for toughness. Scott Skiles is a tough-minded coach, and he's looking for toughness. So even though Aldridge has all the talent in the world, and we're confident that he's going to succeed in the Western Conference, his length, his athleticism, things of that nature, when you're Scott Skiles, you look for tough-minded, hardcore individuals that will really come at you, that have a veracity about themselves. I don't know if Aldridge has that as of yet. That's not to say he won't, though.
And the reality is he's probably going to Portland. And you're right, when you talk about Scott Skiles and John Paxson, they are on the same page philosophically about what type of team they're trying to construct. That's why Tyrese Thomas fits the mold more so. There's a lot of talk of them moving Tyson Chandler. They need more athleticism on their front line. LaMarcus Aldridge could provide that, but the guy they targeted, Tyrese Thomas, they can now get with the 4th pick plus pickup cash. A very good move by John Paxson.
All right, more on that trade coming up. Toronto Raptors no longer on the clock. They've made their pick. Brian Colangelo, the talented GM of the Raptors, winning the lottery, and that prize was Andrea Bargnani, and he joins us now. Brian, was there any debate over Bargnani in the last 24 to 48 hours?
Yes, I think when you talk about the things that happen and you're going through all the information, you've got the background work, the medical information has just come to light recently. Had a chance to sit down with our team medical director and really sort through the minutia as it relates to each one of these picks. Everyone had strengths, weaknesses, etc., but at the end of the day, it came down that we felt that Andrea Bargnani was really the best pick for the future of this organization going forward. It's not about today, it's about today and tomorrow. And we think that Andrea is a player that's not only going to help us in the short run, but we think he's going to grow into a terrific star in this league. He's 7'1", 250. A lot of people report him as 6'10", 225. I'm glad that those false reports were out there, but he's a terrific young man. He's got a great background, and he's really emerging as a player right now.
Are you trying to pattern this team with the Phoenix Suns, a team that you spent 11 years with, that type of style, those types of players?
Well, I think that in the East you can talk about the different types of style that's played, but it's interesting when Phoenix comes east, everyone likes to play and run and score a lot of points, and there's no reason why we can't duplicate that while improving the team defensive principles and that effort all the time. But when you talk about skilled players, I think that's where the league is evolving to. And when you've got 7-foot skilled players with the size to skill ratio, that's a terrific match. I think it's the way to go right now.
When you look at Chris Bosh and his future there was a storyline leading up to the draft that Bosh wanted you to take LaMarcus Aldridge. Was that true?
Mm-hmm. I think Chris talked to LaMarcus a lot. They worked out together. I've had a chance to speak to Chris on numerous occasions over the last month, and I think suffice it to say, he's very comfortable with the pick that was made today. And when we talk about the things, the attributes of each of the players, we talked about some of the things that you cut through in terms of this thought process. I think he felt very comfortable with the overall decision. And this is a guy that 2 years ago played against Chris in an NBA game as an 18-year-old and held his own and didn't embarrass himself by any means. So just to see the growth and development even since that time, it's really remarkable.
Brian Colangelo, General Manager of the Raptors. Congratulations, Brian. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
Charlotte
you, Dan.
Bobcats are on the clock. What are they doing? Michael Jordan, now part of the ownership there. And what role does he play? Let's go to the commissioner with the 3rd pick overall.
With the 3rd pick in the 2006 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Bobcats select Adam Morrison from Gonzaga University.
A big sigh of relief. It seemed like he's been holding his breath since he walked into the theater here at Madison Square Garden over an hour ago. Led the nation in scoring as a junior, a gym rat, type 1 diabetes diagnosed back in 1999, takes insulin shots. What stands out, Jay?
Well, Adam Morrison is, I think, the most polished college player and polished scorer in the draft. He's highly competitive. He's emotional. He can run all day off his screens. And he's really got a terrific shooter. I mean, he can shoot coming off screens. He can shoot off the dribble. He will run his man off all day. He's got a real hunger to score. He is not a strong player. He doesn't rebound the ball particularly